He wasn't just smooth. He was dangerous. To most people in Crestville, Darius Langston was a gentleman. Tall, clean-cut, always smiling. He helped old ladies cross the street, carried groceries for neighbors, and every Sunday he was the first to arrive at church. But behind that polished grin was a secret, one that drained over $300,000 from 6 elderly women in just under a year. This is how he did it, and how one woman, who had nothing left to lose, brought him down. It started with a letter, handwritten, old-fashioned, to Miss Clara Reed, 72, a widow who lived alone. It read, "Dear Ms. Reed, I was a friend of your late husband. We met in the service." She read it 3 times. Her eyes welled with tears. A stranger, claiming to know her past. He sounded kind, gentle. She wrote back. Within days, they were talking on the phone. Within a month, he was visiting. And by month 3, she was opening her wallet. Clara wasn't the only one. Over in Maple Street, 68-year-old Ruth Taylor received roses and poetry. "I haven't felt this special since high school," she told her niece. And next door to her, Martha Johnson, 76, believed she had found a godsend. Darius fixed her sink, repaired her roof, and made her feel seen. But every gift, every repair came with a quiet ask. "A loan here, a small investment there, just until my business clears a check." The money always vanished. So did the receipts. Then came the first red flag. One day, Clara mentioned Darius to a church friend. "You mean Darius Langston?" "Yeah." "Why?" The woman's face went pale. "I thought he moved away. My mother said he was helping her last month." That night, Clara searched his name online. Nothing came up. No business. No photos. The only thing she found? A comment on a local message board. "Beware the Crestville charmer. He's not who you think." Meanwhile, Ruth's niece Jasmine had started noticing things too. Her aunt's rent was late. Utilities shut off. "I thought Darius was helping you," Jasmine said. Ruth's eyes dropped. "He asked for help. I didn't want to be selfish." Jasmine knew something was wrong, so she followed him. One night, Darius left Ruth's house with a thick envelope. He didn't drive far, just 2 blocks away to Martha Johnson's home. Then 5 minutes later, he left again, this time with a jewelry box. Jasmine snapped pictures from her car. Something in her gut screamed con. She took the photos to the police. But what she didn't know was Darius had already disappeared. By the time police pieced it together, Darius had vanished with more than money. He left wounds that couldn't be repaid, broken trust, emptied savings, and shame. The women didn't want to talk. They blamed themselves. All except Clara. Clara stood before the entire church congregation one Sunday. "I gave him $80,000, she said, voice shaking. "I was ashamed, but silence lets men like that keep winning." Her words sparked whispers, then sobs, then confessions. 6 victims, all from the same small town. But there was still one problem. Darius was gone. No records, no address, nothing. Until 2 months later, an obituary surfaced. Darius Langston, age 76, beloved father and deacon. That's right, the real Darius Langston had been dead for 5 years, which meant the man these women trusted was using a fake identity. So who was he? Then came the twist. A woman named Alina Hart, 34, walked into the Crestville precinct. She held a stack of letters, all signed Darius, but addressed to her grandmother, from 3 states away. "Is this the same guy?" she asked. The detective nodded slowly. He was no longer just a local scammer. This was national. Dozens of elderly women. Same playbook, same handwriting, same smile, but no fingerprints, no name, only one blurry security photo. Until Jasmine recognized something in that photo. Not his face, his watch. She'd seen it before, 2 years ago, on her uncle's wedding day. It couldn't be, but when Jasmine called her cousin that night, her blood went cold. He confirmed it. Darius was his brother-in-law, a smooth talker named Tyrell Moore, a man who once bragged about playing the long game. The family never reported him. They hadn't seen him in years. Until now, police reopened the case under his real name, but Tyrell had already crossed state lines and vanished again. Only now, he knew people were watching. The hunt had begun, and what came next would expose not just a con artist, but a dark trail of lies stretching back a decade, and a final victim who wouldn't go down without a fight. He was Darius Langston to some, Tyrell Moore to others, but to the 6 elderly women in Crestville, he was the man who took everything, their trust, their dignity, and over $300,000. Now, after vanishing across state lines, the truth begins to unravel, and one woman is about to risk it all to bring him down. 6 weeks later, Fayette County, Georgia, a 79-year-old woman named Gloria Benton walked into her local Piggly Wiggly. She had a list: milk, eggs, and a call to make. As she approached the payphone near the entrance, a man bumped into her. Polite, smiling. "Sorry, ma'am. You all right?" he said. Gloria blinked. She knew that voice. He smiled again. "God bless you," he added, and walked out. Her hand trembled as she picked up the receiver. Back in Crestville, Detective Liam Carter was sipping cold coffee when the call came in. "I think I just saw him," the woman whispered. "Who?" "The man from the news. The charmer. The one y'all call Tyrell Moore." The detective's heart skipped. "Where?" "Fayette County. Just now. He was leaving the store. Had a satchel. Same eyes." Immediately, the task force sent out alerts. The problem? Tyrell had already covered his tracks again. New alias, new car, new story. But he'd made one mistake. He left behind a flyer in the grocery store bulletin board. Home repairs by Tony M. Honest, quick, local. The number traced to a burner phone. But the name was new, Tony Miles. That's when they pulled up the name on social records. Nothing. But when they ran the number through a voice match AI system, it pinged. 95% match to the man who posed as Darius Langston. Bingo! Detective Carter made a decision. We go quiet. We don't scare him off. Let's send in someone he won't expect. So they called Agent Alana Brooks. Undercover, smart, and recently widowed on paper. She would play his next target. But secretly, she'd be wearing a wire. They put an ad in a local newspaper. Recently widowed woman seeking handyman to help around the house. Just a photo of an old fence and a mailbox. 3 days later, the burner number applied. "Hey, name's Tony. Would love to help. No charge for first visit." When Alana opened the door that Friday morning, she saw the same charm, same soft voice, same watch, same lies, except this time, she was the one in control. They talked on the porch. He said he was just a simple man trying to do right by people. He spoke about trust, community, helping widows feel safe again. But behind the sunglasses, his eyes kept scanning the yard, watching, measuring. Inside the van 2 blocks away, agents listened in. Agent Alana poured lemonade. Tyrell sipped. "You remind me of my mama," he said, smiling. She nodded. "Did your mama live around here?" There was a pause. "No," she passed. The lie was smooth, too smooth. Over the next 2 weeks, he visited twice more, fixed her gate, painted a fence. Then he started talking money. "If you ever need to move some cash around, I know people," he whispered one day. She played along. "How much are we talking?" He grinned. "Depends how much you trust me." The agents had enough to move in, but Alana wasn't ready. "Let me keep going." He's getting bolder. They agreed. 1 more week. That Friday, he showed up with flowers. Said it was her birthday, though she never told him. He leaned in for a hug. "I could see myself settling down with someone like you," he said softly. Then he froze. His eyes locked on the mantel. On the framed photo, beside it, a group picture, church members, community leaders, and in the corner, Detective Liam Carter. His expression shifted. "Who's that?" he asked, nodding at the photo. Ilana's pulse quickened. She smiled. "Oh, just a friend of the family." But his tone turned cold. "Police?" Silence. He stepped back. She moved toward the table, slowly pressing the emergency button under the cloth. Outside, agents jumped into motion, but inside, he was already gone. He vanished out the back, through the woods, into an alley. By the time they reached the yard, he had disappeared again. All he left behind? A glass of untouched lemonade, and a note scribbled on the back of the flower wrapper. "Nice try, but I never fall for the same trick twice." Now they knew two things. He was watching the news, and he knew they were coming. But what they didn't know was what he was planning next. Because 2 weeks later, a 65-year-old woman in North Carolina walked into a local bank and tried to withdraw her entire life savings. When the teller asked why, she whispered, "Tony said he needs it by tonight. He promised he'd marry me." They called him Tony. Before that, Darius. Before that, Tyrell. But no matter the name, his game was the same. Charming elderly women, gaining their trust, then draining their savings. He escaped a sting operation in Georgia. Now he's resurfaced in North Carolina. And the FBI, they're always one step too late. Greensboro, North Carolina, 3:12 p.m. Bank teller Maya Jenkins watched the elderly woman trembling at the counter. "Ma'am," she asked gently, "are you sure you want to withdraw all $87,000? The woman nodded slowly, tears in her eyes. "He's the only one who's been kind to me in years," she whispered. Maya flagged the manager. They stalled, offered water, and quietly called the FBI. By the time agents arrived, the woman had revealed everything. His name was Tony. He said they'd start a new life, that he'd handle her finances, that he loved her. The agents knew that script too well. Same language, same playbook, different state. And now, he was vanishing again. But this time they had a lead. He told her they'd meet at an old motel off Route 29. Room 8. Midnight. The FBI moved in fast. Set up surveillance. Marked every car that entered. Midnight came. Then 12:30. Nothing. No Tony. No car. No footsteps. Until a knock on room 8. They froze. Guns ready. But when the door opened, it was a delivery driver with a pizza. "Who ordered this?" he asked, confused. There was a note taped to the pizza box. "Nice try again. I prefer pepperoni." He was mocking them, playing with them. But something had changed. He wanted attention. They traced the pizza order back to a public Wi-Fi connection at a nearby library. Security footage showed a man in a hoodie, bald cap pulled low. He stayed for exactly 27 minutes. Typed, printed, and left behind a single sheet of paper in the printer tray. It read, "I'm not the bad guy. I'm just giving lonely people hope." The next day, a 72-year-old woman in Winston-Salem went missing. Her daughter reported her gone. Her bank account, empty. Detectives searched her home and found flowers, fresh groceries, a handwritten note taped to the fridge. "Gone to Florida with Tony. Don't worry. I'm happy." But her phone pinged hours later, near a bus station in South Carolina. Agents rushed there. They found her on a bench, alone, crying. Tony never showed, just left her with an empty suitcase and instructions to wait. By now, the media had caught wind. Heartbreak hustler hits Southeast. Tony, scammer targets lonely seniors. FBI task force expands nationwide hunt. And behind the scenes, Agent Alana Brooks, now off deep cover, was building a profile. She noticed something others missed. The states he hit all shared one thing. He never stayed where he had family, which led her to dig deeper into Tyrell Moore's real past. And what she found stunned her. His birth name was Tyrell Jennings. Grew up in a group home outside Memphis. Abandoned at 6. Bounced from foster home to foster home. At 16, he ran away. At 20, he was arrested for fraud. But what caught Alana's eye was a woman named Cassandra Jennings. His mother, still alive, living under a new name, Cassandra Miles. Same last name as his fake handyman alias, Tony Miles. Could he be circling back? Agents tracked Cassandra down in Memphis. She was frail, living in assisted housing. Alzheimer's. When they showed her Tyrell's photo, she whispered, "That's my baby. He said he'd come back someday." Her nurse added, "He visited last week. Said he was from the church. Left flowers." They checked security footage. And there he was, plain as day. Hat, hoodie, sunglasses. But the walk, the smirk, definitely him. He was close. That night, Agent Alana stayed in a motel just outside Memphis. She couldn't sleep. Then her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered. Silence. Then a familiar voice whispered, "You got close, Alana. Too close. But you of all people should know. Some people con for greed. I do it for survival." Click. The call traced to a burner. But the chilling part? That number had only ever been given to one person. Her old undercover alias. Which meant he knew exactly who she was. And he'd known for a long time. Memphis, Tennessee, 2:02 a.m. Ilana didn't sleep. She couldn't. That voice on the phone? Smooth. Calculated. But it wasn't taunting. It was personal. He wasn't just running anymore. He was playing with her. Back at FBI HQ, they ran voice analysis. No match. But one analyst flagged something strange. In the background of the call, a soft tune, like a lullaby. They cleaned up the audio. It was Hush Little Baby, played on an old, out-of-tune piano. Creepy, but familiar. Then it hit her. Cassandra, Tyrell's mother, mentioned a piano in her childhood church. The only place he said he ever felt safe. Ilana called the team. Send eyes to Emmanuel Zion on Jefferson Street. Now, 3:45 a.m., Emmanuel Zion Church. The building was crumbling. No alarms, no lights, just one rusted upright piano in the main hall, and beside it, a fresh rose, a burner phone, and a Bible. Ilana's name was written on the first page. Inside, a message. "You understand me. Ilana, don't pretend you don't. They left me like they left you. I don't steal to hurt people. I steal because it's all I was ever taught. But maybe you can teach me something new." T. He was begging her to chase him, but also to see him, to hear his pain. The burner phone pinged again. A single message. Next stop, the place where it all ended and began. The porch is still red. Ilana froze. The porch. Red paint. She knew that place. It was a foster home he ran away from at 16. Burned down years ago in an electrical fire. But the porch still stood, rotting, unpainted until now. They sent drones. Infrared. Nothing. Until they zoomed in. Fresh red paint. Someone had been there. Recently. And in the mailbox, another note. One last game. No cops this time. Just you. Midnight. 11:59 p.m. Abandoned foster home. Ilana stood alone. Body cam off. Mic off. Just her and the moonlight. At 12:01 a.m. A soft whistle. Then footsteps. Out from behind a broken-down shed. He appeared. Tall. Calm. Smiling. Tony. Tyrell. Whoever he truly was. "Didn't think you'd come alone," he said. "I had to," she replied. He nodded. "I was going to disappear for good. But then I saw the way you looked at that first letter. You needed someone to understand you." "No," he said slowly. "I needed someone to stop me." For a moment, silence. He stepped forward, handed her a flash drive. Everything. Names, accounts, locations, every woman I conned. She hesitated, took it. Then, a sharp crack behind them. Gunshot. Tyrell dropped, screamed. Blood soaked his leg. Ilana spun around. A figure in the woods. Masked, armed. Then another shot, barely missing her. She dove behind the porch. Tyrell crawled, bleeding, yelling. "They weren't supposed to be here. It was just you." "Who?" she shouted. He choked on blood. "You don't get it? I wasn't the only one conning them. Bang! The porch splintered, and suddenly, flames. The house caught fire. It was a trap, and they both walked into it. Tyrell wasn't just a charming con. He was a wounded soul trying to be caught. He handed over the names, the evidence. But before justice could be served, someone tried to kill them both. Now the house is burning, Tyrell is shot, and a masked gunman lurks in the dark. Not everything was what it seemed. Fire, smoke, screams. Tyrell was losing blood fast. Ilana dragged him behind the porch. She couldn't see the shooter, but the flames were climbing. Fast, though it groaned above them. The structure was collapsing. They had seconds. Tyrell gasped. It's not just me. There's a woman. Patricia. She runs it all. I was just the face. Ilana froze. Patricia Lane, the wealthy philanthropist who helped rehabilitate ex-cons. She'd been donating to victims. But now it made sense. She created them. Set up Tyrell as a heartbreaker. Then played the hero behind the scenes. Collected sympathy. Press. Power. She was conning the con game. Where is she? Ilana shouted. Tyrell coughed, Palm Springs. Safe house. Code on the drive. Ilana tucked it tight in her vest. Don't die, she whispered. Then she heard sirens. The shooter took off into the woods. Agents stormed in. Firefighters pulled Tyrell out on a stretcher. And Ilana? She stared at the flames. This wasn't over. 2 weeks later, Palm Springs, California. A quiet estate. No cameras. No gates. Just wealth and silence. Ilana had a warrant and a team. Inside, dozens of IDs, fake charities, bank records. And in the back room, Patricia Lane, white, blonde, calm, sipping tea. You came all this way, she said. Your boy Tyrell always needed saving. Ilana didn't flinch. You used him. No, I built him. The world broke him. I gave him purpose. Ilana stared her down. That's not purpose. That's slavery. Trial day. Tyrell testified. He told it all, from the first fake profile, to the private rehearsals Patricia made him do, to the guilt he felt after every woman cried. Patricia smiled through the whole thing, until they played the final audio, a voicemail from Tyrell to Cassandra, his first victim. I was a coward. I let Patricia convince me I was doing God's work. But I was just stealing pain and dressing it up as love. I'm sorry. Cassandra cried in court. Tyrell cried too. So did Ilana. Verdict. Patricia Lane guilty on all counts. 120 years. Tyrell Davis, 7 years with parole in 2. 1 year later. Ilana visited Tyrell. He was reading, smiling more. Cassandra wrote me, he said. She forgave me. Ilana nodded. You ever going to tell me why you took that first woman's money? He looked out the window. I was hungry. That's all. I was just hungry. Some people wear pain like armor. Some learn to weaponize it. And some just need someone to believe they can change. Thank you for watching. Kindly subscribe for more interesting and powerful stories.